Welcome to the Buff Show, guys. This is a very unique episode we're going to be having here. We're going to be going over a 7-day fast. So I have Ethan Annis here with me today. He's a friend, client, all of the above. Might as well be an agent in our office because he's with us so much. But so I guess how do we get started? Last year, I watched Chris Hemsworth, the documentary on Disney Plus called Limitless. I think it's called Limitless. Yep. He did a 4-day water-only fast, and then after he had to go spearfish his food. And anyways, it went into all the scientific reasonings behind why fasting is good for you and all this stuff. So I was like intrigued. So I was like, we need to do a 4-day fast. So we did a 4-day fast last year.
Right after Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving. It was awesome. There was a handful of us that did it, and it was like enlightening.
Everybody completed it, right?
Everybody completed it, yeah. It was great. And so then this year I was like, we need to do a 4-day fast again. And Ethan, we were at the gym, we were talking to Zach Mehmet and Nick Allred, their team did a 7-day fast. And we were talking to him at the gym, Zach, and he's like, yeah, it was great. And Ethan's like, let's do a 7-day. And I'm like, I think the 4-day was great. And
then I demanded. I was like, if Nick Allred and Zach Mehmet can do a 7-day, we can do a 7-day.
He demanded a 7-day. So here we are doing the 7-day. So we are on day 7 of a 7-day water-only fast.
Well, Peyton is on us.
We'll get into the story. And we had a group of us. There's a bunch of us that did it. Not everybody was committed to a 7-day. Most people were like, hey, I'll do 3 or 4 days with you.
A lot of people said 5. They would do 5.
Yeah, a lot of people said they'd do 5. Some were committed to a 7. Some weren't sure what they were committed to. And everybody did at least 3 days.
That's true.
So
I think a lot of people got to 4.
Yeah. So we started it out. Me and Ethan went up to the UNS because we started last Friday. Today's a Friday. We went up to the UNS Saturday night to Sunday. Did like a goal planning sesh. Drank a ton of those bubbly waters.
LaCroix.
Yeah, LaCroix. That was good. And had a great time up in the UNS. Come home Sunday night, and Ethan's just determined. And then I get a call.
It was like 2 hours.
Yeah. I get a call a few hours later.
Let me tell this story. So,
yeah, you tell the story.
So a few hours, I went straight from the retreat and being in solitude in the mountains, fasting, being in the right headspace, straight from that to my mother-in-law's house, which is like the mecca of delicious food. And she had cooked 5 new chicken casseroles that she had never made before.
Oh my gosh.
And the whole family
5?
Yeah, seriously, there were 5 casseroles. And their whole family was feasting, talking about how good this one was and which one was their favorite and how good this one was. And I was sitting there 48 days fasted, and nobody knew that I was fasting. Or 48 hours fasted, and nobody knew.
48 days.
Yeah, 48. I was sitting there, call me Jesus. I was sitting there like a psycho, and then I was like, okay, I got to go get a bubbly out in the garage. So I went out to the garage, and then there was a giant plate of Halloween candy. Anyway, I fell to temptation, and my mother-in-law thought I was mad at the family because I was in such a rotten mood. So I ended up eating a little bit on Sunday night, and actually I ate a lot of Halloween candy. Gave myself a stomach ache. Post-eating clarity, I was pretty bummed that I had done that. I learned a lot about my relationship with food at my mother-in-law's house. So anyway, I took a break Sunday night from the fast and then jumped right back into it starting Sunday night.
I'm going to see if I can find the Marco Polo
that I sent.
Yeah, you were so distraught.
I was bummed. I was bummed at myself for sure. It was a weak moment.
Shamedly have to admit that tonight I ate dinner. I went to my mother-in-law's for family dinner, and I thought I would be able to resist. And then everybody was eating all this delicious food, and there was leftover Halloween candy, and there was this delicious, like, caramely popcorn stuff. So I broke my fast.
Oh, man.
48 hours. So I didn't even, I mean, I've done 4 days before, so this was just a big moment of weakness for me. So,
well, I think the key points to look back on that, why, is you didn't tell anybody. So you walked in there and everybody's like, nobody had the expectation that you weren't going to eat.
Yeah.
And then you instantly
I had no social pressure.
And then Like if everybody knew, they would have held you to it.
Well, and I also probably shouldn't have gone. It
Right.
would have made it easy.
Yeah. That would have made it way easier.
I told that to Allison though, and she was like, "Yeah, but then I would have had the kids by myself." So I don't know. What do you do? You got to live your normal life. So
You do.
that's the thing about these fasts. They have to be for you, and you can't serve the fast. It has to serve you. So
Yeah.
I took a break Sunday night. We'll continue.
And then a few other people started Sunday, and anyways, it just kept going.
How did
It-
you feel though Sunday night? Yeah, so around about 48 hours.
I mean, I think I feel the same. I wake up in the morning, I feel okay, and then like in the afternoon, evening, I start feeling crappy, just like low energy,
Yeah,
a little bit exhausted,
achy joints.
Yeah, what day was it? I think it was Sunday. No, Monday.
Day 3.
Monday or Tuesday. My hips and my knees were like really achy.
Yeah.
But then that like went away by the next day. And since then, dude, like my like I felt pretty normal. Like it's weird. You think you would have hunger pains, like intense hunger pains. I have not had very bad hunger pains.
What do you feel though? Because I don't feel hunger pains, but I definitely feel something.
Yeah.
You feel like I feel like just an emptiness. Like
I feel light. I feel empty. My stomach feels empty, obviously. I feel cold all the time.
Yep.
That's why we have jackets on. I feel cold. I also think it's important if you're going to do a fast, you need to research it. There's a really good book that we were listening to when we were in the mountains on fasting, and I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was a little biased.
It was definitely biased. The Complete Guide to Fasting by Jimmy Moore and Jason Fung.
Another good person to listen to that talks a lot about fasting and has actually changed their stance over the time is Peter Attia. He's an MD, and he talks a lot about, he used to recommend it a ton. He used to experiment with it a ton. He wrote a book called Outlive. It talks a lot about longevity and how to achieve the longest, healthiest lifespan possible. And he specifically talks about fasting for a section in there. And he used to recommend it to everybody, but he doesn't anymore for a variety of reasons. But anyway, that's another good person. That's I think a less biased opinion than this guy.
Right.
That wrote
Yeah,
this book.
I think the 7-day fast was extreme, but going into it, I thought it was extreme. I think my thoughts on it now is like we just went to the gym, and I woke up this morning. I was like, I want to test myself and see how I feel, like strength wise, just see how I'm feeling. Like obviously mentally, I feel a little bit like slightly clouded. There's times where I'm like super focused and then other times where I'm more clouded. But we went to the gym and tried bench just to see what I could bench, and I benched 100 pounds 11 times, which is like as much as I could have done.
100-pound dumbbells, so 200 pounds.
Yeah, 100-pound dumbbells. Yeah, we should clarify that.
Benching 100 pounds.
Yeah, 100
Fifth
pounds.
grader.
Yeah, but dumbbells 11 times, and like that was like that would have been a challenge for me when I wasn't fasted. So that was crazy.
Yeah, your body adapts. For
Yeah.
sure.
So let's talk about, I guess, the pros to doing a fast, why we did it. Well, actually, let's continue on the story before we go there, because
Yeah. So
Ethan-
how did so that was day 2. How did you feel day 3, 4, 5?
I mean, it's all a blur. Like
So
I couldn't tell you.
I think that's true. Like it kind of never gets easier. It never gets a ton harder. For
Yeah.
me, it did. I will go into what happened to me on Wednesday on day 5. But you feel great in the morning, and then for me about 3 p.m., 3 to 5 or 3 to 8 was
Yeah.
like the pain cave.
Yeah.
The misery cave. It was just like all I could think about was food, and my family was eating dinner, and I was trying to take care of kids. Like that time period was really, really difficult for me every day.
So when I was in a conference in Salt Lake, and on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday they did like a big lunch, and it was like spinach salad with feta and strawberries, and then chicken croissants. Keep in mind, I haven't broken my fast yet, so I'm still like
salivating.
I'm still like, oh my gosh, they had all that there. Everybody's eating, and I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I just held strong though. So I guess let's talk about some supplements, because I feel like this is probably what will make or break you during a fast is you still need electrolytes. You need salt. There are some things that you need. So I was doing some mineral drinks. I was also doing a multivitamin, a multimineral, a daily green vitamin, and a digestive enzyme.
So 150 calories in vitamins.
No, I don't think they don't have calories in
I'm
vitamins.
just kidding.
But maybe there is calories. I don't know.
I'm just
I
kidding.
looked on the back of the bottles that said no
I'm
calories.
kidding you. I'm just playing.
But so I would take 8 of those. I'd take 4, like one of each in the morning, one of each at night. And like they never hurt my belly taking them on an empty stomach or anything like that. And then that salt drink I would drink periodically, once a day. I did have like 3 Relight drinks, which I think that has 5 calories in it.
So you're fat. So you didn't fast then. You just like
I knew,
me.
I knew you'd say that.
Whether you eat 5 calories or 500,
No,
what's the difference?
I mean, I haven't had anything else.
Daggum. Earlier in the week, we had this whole conversation about how I should not.
Well, I looked
how
on
I
the
should
back.
not do a hydration pack because it had 5 calories. Peyton was like, "Yeah, I think you got to just go cold turkey." So I was like,
I didn't really. Yeah.
And then he's doing it later in the week. without
Anyways,
telling me.
I've done 2 of those. I have one that I'm gonna do today to make it through.
I think that's the thing about fast. They're super personal, and they like you got to listen to your body. You got to do what's right for you. And I think eating 20 calories during a 7-day fast, as compared to 3,000, so 20 calories for 21,000, it's over 7 days. It's a completely different.
Right.
It's statistically doesn't matter. So.
What's bizarre? So I guess we continue. I did all the conference and stuff. I think a key to like doing it fast is you have to stay busy. You have to plan it. Like Ethan was at home the whole time, which I think would be harder. I was working, like I kept working. I'd get home at like 8 every night. Card wasn't appreciative of that, but it was easier to be out busy doing stuff, solving problems, working, taking care of other people than worrying about me. Kids are hard to take care of because they're just irrational, and you're like, I don't want this food.
Yeah,
and you're
they're
like,
also higher speed.
Eat your food.
Yeah, I found it very difficult to interface with my children.
So I wasn't very present, but like yesterday, I'm still able to function. Like I'm surprised at how much, like if I needed to do some manual labor, I could.
For sure.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have guessed that. So let's talk about sleep. How did you sleep through it?
Great. I never have any issues sleeping.
I'm surprised because like one of my goals has been to improve my sleep. Last night, I just got this Garmin watch, which I love. I got 8.5 hours of sleep last night. And I was like struggling a little bit. Thursday, I got 7.5 hours. Wednesday, 8 hours. Tuesday, 8.5 hours. When we went to the mountains, 7.5 hours. Monday, 9 hours and 56 minutes. That's like the best sleep I've ever had. That was Sunday. That was in the UNAs. And then before 5.5 hours before I started.
You're probably anxious.
Maybe. Yeah. Going to bed at 12:30, waking up at 6. And then I never set an alarm. I would just like naturally I'd get home and I'd just be exhausted. I'd go lay in bed. Wouldn't even want to really watch a movie. I haven't watched any movies this whole week.
Yeah.
And
Movies make you want to snack.
however, social media, freaking you get on there and it's like every ad is like, check out this low carb keto friendly meal. And it's like this amazing.
It's probably because you got that book on Audible.
Probably. So
Really?
hungry.
Yeah.
And you can't think about food. Even right now, I'm like, oh.
I know you can't. Makes you miserable.
But sleep's gone up, and then naturally I just wake up at between 5 and 5:30 every morning without an alarm. I didn't set an alarm once this week.
So it didn't hurt your circadian rhythm, though a lot of people says that it does. A lot of
Really?
people will suffer when they fast. Yeah, their
Really?
sleep will suffer. Yeah.
Yeah, my sleep.
I didn't find that to be true at all, except for one night. My wife's been really sick this week, and
Well, that doesn't help.
well, yeah. But she was hacking and that night I woke up a bunch of times. We were just like two old people like awake at 2:00 in the morning. Anyway, she's been having a rough week too. So
Yeah, that's tough.
that was the only time though that I suffered. Otherwise, I sleep great when we're fasting. I've never noticed any kind of a decline.
So we would agree that mornings are easier. You wake up good, and then by the end of the day, you're feeling it, you're dragging, and then you go to sleep and it resets.
Did you find anything that helped you when you, like, I feel like there's the difficulty kind of ebbs and flows when you're
Yeah.
fasting. Like I'm describing between 3 and 8, you go into the suffer fast. Was there anything that helped you? If anyone wants to try a long-term fast,
Yeah.
anything that helped you,
Salts.
strategies?
Salts, bubbly water, and tea.
Mm.
Like I'd boil some hot water. So I think having like a really cold bubbly water would help. That'd like fill my belly. Some days I drink like 3 or 4 of those a day. Other days I wouldn't drink any. But bubbly water helps. Take in some minerals, some electrolytes. That's it really. And then maybe going for a walk. It's colder when we were doing this, so I wasn't like I haven't been able to get outside. I think if I were doing it in the summer in a warmer place, I would go walk. One thing you will notice is when you do a fast, your body basically shuts down a lot of things except your brain and your reproductive organs is what they say in the book.
Really?
Yeah. And so you're just cold all the time. Like my hands are always cold and I'm never cold.
Yeah. I was the same way. I'd feel very cold.
And like I'd get in bed at night and I'd still be cold. So I'd want to sit in front of a fireplace a lot or have a warm jacket on all the time just to stay warm. I think your body's just trying to cut down the calories, and that's one way by keeping your body at a cooler temperature. So that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So let's continue on the story. So Ethan jumps back on the bandwagon. He's like, I'm going to continue and do it. And then what day was it?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, I'm at this conference. I'll read you these texts because it's kind of funny.
I had a pretty heavy day at work on Wednesday. I had a lot of meetings right in a row, big meetings where I was presenting or interfacing with executives, so they were kind of mildly stressful. I needed to be prepared for them. So I was meeting. Let's look at my calendar. But anyway, suffice it to say, I had a big day, and
I feel like meetings help me though, but you text me at 2:00. You're like, dude, I'm seriously struggling. My mouth tastes terrible, like nail polish. I'm like, haha. And you're like, how are you doing? And I said, cool runnings, look in the mirror. Because we always joke about that where the guy's like, look in the mirror, tell me what you see on the movie.
I see a badass mother who don't take no crap off nobody.
And he's like, what's your mental state though?
No, I
Jeez,
said
I'm
at 11
honestly going through it. Hardest thing I've ever done.
I said at 11 o'clock in the morning, I said, I am so miserable. So I started suffering at 11, like 4 or 5 hours earlier than I normally do. I said, is this how you're feeling? My knees and hips ache. I have zero energy. All I want to do is nap. I'm so unhappy. I hate this so much. And then he tried to hype me up. I said, achy joints, achy head about an hour later. Then I said, dude, I'm seriously struggling. My mouth tastes terrible like nail polish. I said, how are you doing okay? What he sent me a video of everybody eating lunch. I was like, what's your mental state though? Geez, I'm honestly going through it. Hardest thing I've ever done. Do you have a nasty flavor in your mouth? I'm just like, this is when I'm like, I was really suffering. I think actually at this time I'm laying on my bed with I said, my head feels like it's splitting in half. I feel jittery. I am dying.
And I say, it's all in your head.
Yeah, he said, settle down.
And I'm like, you're getting yourself all worked up. Your panties in the wad. Settle down. Tranquilo, hermano. And
just relax.
And you're like, I'm going to nap.
So I try to go take a nap because I've got a headache that's like I couldn't open my eye because it hurts so bad. I think it's probably a migraine. But then by 3 o'clock, I said I ate some food because I still had like 2 really big meetings that afternoon.
You said you like had this serious headache and then you puked.
Yeah, I had a headache so bad that I could not fall asleep. I couldn't rest. I couldn't. I tried to go on a little walk, but then I was like my head was like being pulled to one side. It hurt so bad. So then I tried to drink some water. I thought maybe I'm dehydrated. So I went and drank some water. I took 3 big sips of water and then just threw up everywhere in the sink. And so that was. I looking back, maybe I was salt deficient. I probably should have had a big cup of salt, but
and I think you're getting worked up. Like you got a call from Sandy City. Yeah, your rental. You're getting a fine. You had big meetings. You had all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, sure. There's a mind body connection, but I don't think though that I think there was something. I think it was good that I listened to my body. I don't think that it was smart.
No, I think
that I should have just mentally pushed through it. I think that would have been dumb.
No, I wouldn't have just pushed through that. If I was puking and stuff, I would have fully not bailed or ate something.
So I ate some food, and then I ate the rest of Wednesday, and then I'm fasted since Wednesday.
So you've done a good solid 5 days of fasting. I mean, 6 if you, I mean,
I don't know how you count the fat. The days that I ate, I have not eaten for.
but you probably ate what? 3,000 calories maybe between those two settings?
No. Oh yeah, maybe total.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Between
there's
those-
no way that I ate 3,000 in a day.
Maybe like 1,500 and 1,500.
Yeah, I ate 2.5 meals basically.
Yeah. So I think you're good.
Personal, like I haven't completed a 7-day in a row, but
Well, and that book we were listening to, he's like, I did a 31-day fast. And then he's like, I ate on this day and this day and this day. And you're like,
yeah,
we're
he
like,
didn't do a 31-day fast. He did. He said he fasted 28 out of 31 days. I was like, well, okay. Anyway, I don't.
I think you can count it. I mean, I think you can
No,
say,
I'm not counting it as a 7-day fast.
well, not
but
a solid, complete, but
I am not disappointed in my experience other than Sunday night. That was.
I
the
mean,
time when
you
I broke.
could say I didn't do a 7-day fast. If I had 5 calories, I had 10 calories
Yeah, you
in
didn't do it.
relight.
Dang, dude, you're as weak as I am. No, I think I learned a lot about myself.
So why did you want to do this?
I want to see if I could. I want to see what it would be like. There's also a lot of longevity effects. They say that when you fast, your body is pushed into a state of autophagy, which is basically cellular recycling. And they break down cells that you don't need. They break down zombie cells. They break down stuff that your body doesn't need, and then as it breaks them down, it takes stuff that is good and recycles it into other cells that can use it. So, and then it like helps prevent cancer. There's one guy that says that a 7-day or 4 or 7-day fast. I don't remember exactly what the
It
quote
was
is,
7.
but it's a 7-day fast once a year will reduce your risk of cancer by 99%. And so there's, I mean,
Was
there's
it 99%?
He says 99%.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
Reduce
I've
your
heard
risk of-
like 70 or 80%.
No, he says 99. Well,
That's crazy.
John J Fung, I think is
Yeah.
what his name is, or something like that. So yeah, he says 99%. And
I was happy with 70%.
yeah, I mean, nobody wants to get cancer. 1 in 3 men get it these days. So that was right. There's a lot of health effects. We're also training for that bodybuilding competition, so I wanted it to kind of kickstart some weight loss. Though that was kind of ancillary for me. I did not expect that it would really do that. A lot of times, any weight loss that you have during a long-term fast like that, you kind of gain right back. But and then just kind of test myself mentally.
Yeah, that was my same theory behind it. Like weight loss was definitely in the very back. In fact, I hired a trainer and he was like, dude, what are you doing? Because I've been on the gain train, feeling really good.
Yeah.
My lifts are going up. My body mass is going up. He's like, you're basically going to reverse everything that we've done. And I was like, well, I get that, but this is important to me and I want to try it and just see what I can do. And I feel like strength, like sharpening your mind too, is helpful. It's pure discipline to let go without eating for like this duration. It's freaking hard. Like if you think about it, 7 days, like a few years ago, I would have thought that after like, if you're like, how long can your body go without food without dying? I would have said like 4 days.
That's water.
Yeah.
Can't go 3 or 4 days
I
without
know.
water.
But I'm
You're
like,
right.
how long can you actually go without food? A long time.
Months.
It's crazy. It's bizarre.
In the book, Peyton was reading, the guy posits that most Americans could walk from New York City to Florida without
Fasted.
eating.
Yeah. Because
And I
one
said BS.
one
That's like-
pound listen, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So 1 pound of fat, you could technically go 2 days, 2 maybe 3 days on 1 pound of fat.
So
It's just crazy.
So that is 18-hour drive. It is 1,147 miles from New York to Florida.
I mean, yeah, it's probably I
You
don't
realize-
doubt it.
you
I don't
realize-
doubt it. If you had water, I think you could do it.
1,100 miles divided by how many miles do you walk in a day? Fasted
Fasted.
on a highway.
On a highway, I'll bet you could get easy 20.
20
But-
miles.
But that's like light. I'll bet you could
You think
get.
a 20-mile day is light?
I mean, if that's all you had to do,
All you had to do, just drink
is
water.
just walk.
Drink water and walk.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say 25. Just go 25.
Okay, go 25. That's 44 days.
Yeah,
Maybe he's right.
easy.
But that is a Big expenditure.
That,
25
that
miles
is
a day.
that is a big expenditure. That was a big claim. That book is very pro fasting, which I. Where do you fall? Are you pro faster now?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
I think it is good for mental strength. I have not ever felt any health benefits. Some people talk about mental clarity when you're fasting. Some people talk about bursts of energy. I have never felt any of that. Every time I have ever done a long fast, which is only twice, 4 days last year and then this year, kind of just a jumble of days, but I've never felt any of that. I have always felt miserable. I have always hated it. So that's my opinion. I don't. I was joking. There's a Marco Polo I sent to the group that was doing it halfway through the week, and I was like, "Freaking! I better get a 99% reduction in cancer because that was the only thing that would make this worth it." Like I was just, I don't like it. I hate it.
No,
I
I
think
don't-
It feels
I don't
miserable
enjoy
from
it.
the moment, basically from 6 hours in until you break your fast. It
I-
feels equally terrible.
I
the
was
entire time.
getting anxious thinking about it,
Yeah.
like leading up to the fast. But going back to my reasonings why I wanted to do it, I recently had sinus surgery, was pumped with antibiotics for like 6 months, and all this shiz going on and destroying my gut. So I was like, I need to reset. I need to go without food, let my body detox, cleanse, and just reset itself. And I really feel like that's what's happened. I feel good. I feel light. My sinus issues are gone. Obviously, I had surgery, so they were gone before that. And that's why I've been doing the probiotics and stuff, just trying to get my gut back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I still had bowel movements this morning on day
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
And like a ton of stuff, not a ton, but stuff came out like just like sludge. I'm like, geez,
Waste.
what is that?
It is. It's interesting.
It's crazy. It's either like your, what is it, your colon, like just
Clearing out.
clearing out, or your intestines. And anyways, I think I will continue fasting at least 3 to 4 days every year. I don't know if I'll do a 7 again.
I find the sweet spot for me is 2 days. 48-hour fast is not easy.
No.
Even that second day is pretty brutal. You get your body into ketosis, which is good. I really hate it. I don't have a glowing review for fasting generally. I find it quite difficult. But that could have to do with my diet. I eat a pretty carb-heavy diet, but I don't really.
And you don't supplement. You weren't taking the vitamins that I was.
Let's not talk about supplement. I don't agree with the supplements. I think
Ethan
that's
doesn't
BS.
believe. Ethan doesn't believe.
The other thing that Peyton
that
Peyton has had this trainer and has been eating far cleaner
I have been.
than me or than anyone else fasted, than anyone else that did the fast with us. So you've had I think you went into it far more prepared than any of us.
Probably.
And I don't believe that it was your vitamins.
And
your supplements.
I went into this at 3,000 calories a day, 3,100 roughly.
Yeah.
To nothing, which is crazy. However, my dad is still doing this, and he doesn't have a great diet either.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's there's a lot. Like I said, it's I believe that it is very personal. I think everybody is different. My body, I do believe that there are people that can fast easier than other people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's you. I think it hasn't been easy for anybody. It's always
No.
miserable.
I will say it's been, if I look back, if it's been easier or harder than I anticipated. I'm just glad that it's about
Probably
done.
exactly as hard as you.
Yeah, it's been pretty hard.
Yeah, you
And
know
like
it's
I
hard and it's hard.
And I didn't post, like, I wasn't very, like, I didn't post on social that I was doing a 7-day fast. I'm like, we're just doing a fast because I didn't want to set myself up for failure. And like, in the beginning, I wasn't sure if I could do it, but here we are. Okay. So we did a body scan before. We did a body scan this morning. Well, it was interesting. We went to the gym. Like I said, I benched. I feel good. And I did some before and after pictures. I've clearly lost. Like, I'm a lot more lean than I was. So I was, before I was 206 weight, 206.7, 104.5 on the skeletal muscle mass, percentage of body fat 12.8. And I don't know what the last one is. We're just going to skip that.
Extracellular water to total body water. It's just a measure that
0.367.
Yeah, it's a measure that determines if your body is inflamed or if it's retaining water.
So My weight is down to 150, or sorry, I keep saying that 195.9. So I've lost 10 point something pounds. My skeletal muscle mass, 98.1, which it was 104. So that's down, supposedly. And then my body fat has gone up 13.5. So this in body scan is complete garbage. Don't do it because I don't believe it. And
Scam.
we wasted our money. Let's hear yours.
Mine, I was my starting weight was 234.7. I had 99 pounds of skeletal muscle, 26.5% body fat, and then after I lost like 5 pounds, 229.3, 96 pounds of skeletal muscle, and 26.4% body fat. So essentially, according to this scan, I lost no body fat percentage. I only lost 5 pounds, and and all of it was from skeletal muscles.
Seems like you would have lost more than 5 pounds, but that's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
But it could
I
be how
agree.
much water you drink. Like who knows the things there. And even me on 10 pounds, like I was expecting more of like a 15-pound loss after a week.
For not eating 7 days, I know.
Yeah, not just
And
10
And
pounds.
then that's the thing. The Peter Attia guy is a little less biased because he says he doesn't recommend fasting like this because you can lose skeletal muscle mass, which he talks about that being like one of the very, very important things that your body needs for longevity.
Yeah.
And skeletal muscle mass is like one of the best predictors of long life, right?
But then that other book says your body will not burn muscle when it has plenty of fat. If you're below 4% body fat, yes, you should not do a fast. If you're pregnant, if you're nursing, you shouldn't fast. If you're a kid, you shouldn't fast. But if you're above 4% body fat, your body is going to go to the fat storage first before it burns muscle.
We're not doctors. We don't know.
But I feel good. Like I don't feel like I lost muscle mass. Do you feel like I did?
Yeah, you look really weak.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, I don't know how I would know that, but I don't.
Well, the lifting this morning and stuff.
You certainly did. You were just as strong as you were 7 days ago.
Right.
For sure.
Without pre-workout and without food for 7 days, which is bizarre.
Yeah, your body.
I mean, I would have thought I'd be crawling like at this point. Like
Your body definitely adapts. It's pretty cool.
it is insane.
But I think my review of fasting is not glowing. Is yours good? What would you?
I'm glad I did it. I feel good about it. I'll do it again too, I think. Probably
You'll
not.
do 7 days.
I don't know if I mean, maybe. I've done like, because now I'm like, I could keep going.
Do it.
No. No. But there's people that do 10 days, 14. Like, I'm just like, at some point, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'd probably do like between a 4 and a 7 day, probably 4 to 5, 3 to 5. I don't know. But I don't feel the need to do much longer. But like we were talking, going to the UNAs, man, it'd be cool to do a 10 day.
I know.
But yeah, I feel good. I feel like my body has been cleansed. I feel like I've got a lot of mental clarity. I feel like it did everything I wanted it to do. So I would give it a 10 out of 10 review.
Yeah, I don't know. So you've got I'd probably give it a 3 or 4 out of 10.
3? Wow.
3. Pretty totally miserable experience. I struggled though. I had a much harder. I think. I mean, I got a headache so bad I was throwing up at one point. So I think we had a very different.
But so
experience.
tell people what you would do prepping for a fast.
Yeah,
No.
if I was gonna do it again, I would eat a week. If I would eat for a week, and I would eat a very, very low carb type of diet, a lot of vegetables and meats.
Would you work from home?
No, I would work from a WeWork, or I would figure out how to get out of the house, and I would ask for support so that I didn't have to watch my kids. I wish I would see my kids, but I would not be solely responsible for them. I found that to be incredibly difficult. I only actually did it one night. Monday night was the only night that I was solely responsible for my kids, and only for a few hours. But I was like in a dark place. I put on a movie for the kids, and I felt bad because I did not feel present. So anyway, I would try. I would ensure that was not required of me during the week.
Yeah, it'd be easier if you were just not there. Like if you changed up your circumstances, your environment.
Yeah, and then I would probably make it so that I either didn't have a lot of big meetings at work, or I would do it on a week where I was off of work, and I would
Really?
for sure. I would have other things to do.
See, I've had some like fairly, even last night, I had some deals blow up, like things were getting really, like you could say, heated, like just difficult stuff at work. And I felt like I've been okay. In fact, I've almost preferred that because it's distracted me from my food.
Yeah.
But
But I think everybody handles stress differently too. Like where it might stress me out and
Yeah.
like send me into a tailspin, you might like thrive on it. You love it.
maybe,
So
Yeah.
that, again, like
And then-
that's why I say it's personal. Like this is what I would do. if it were
yeah.
me.
And then supplements, what were you saying about like having a plan?
I don't think I would supplement.
Oh my gosh.
This is
I
my
s-
my ego speaking. I would probably I would think more about what my body would need. I would do more research. Salt. When we did the 4-day, every single day I would wake up and I'd put a teaspoon of salt and I'd mix it up and I'd drink it. And this time I didn't. I was drinking something called Ultima, which supposedly had sodium in it and like a variety of other electrolytes. But I wonder if that was
I
poor
I
choice.
truly believe that yours could have been 100% diet, like or like supplements, because like who knows if you weren't getting the right salts and minerals and electrolytes and vitamins that your body needed. Any last words that you want to say?
No.
3 out of 10 review on the
3 out of 10
fast.
review. I will probably before I die, I will need to do a 7-day in a row fast for my ego's sake. I did it to see if I could do it, and I couldn't do it. So now I have to figure out how to do it.
I think if you had the right plan, you could easily do it. I think you
I
were
think
just
anyone could easily do it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. As I remember saying this when we were in the UIMs, I was like, geez, if I don't do this, I'll be so disappointed in myself because it's so purely mental. Like you just don't eat. Your body's not
Well,
going to die. We're so overnourished.
but there
I
is
mean, I'm 26% body fat percentage, right? Like I've got plenty
yeah.
to keep myself alive.
But you have to have a plan, and I think that's where, like, I think both of us, you maybe more, but we walked into this not fully prepared for what it was going to be, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I bought the bubblies after we started the fast.
Yeah.
I bought the Ultimas after. I was like, geez, I don't know. Am I going to
Yeah.
get electrolytes? So
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
I'll think about it some more for sure.
Anyways, good experience. I know this was definitely off topic, but we wanted to put it on here. I feel like a lot of people have interest in this kind of stuff, and since most of our office, a lot of them did it, it'd be cool to kind of hear the story of the fast. So, anyways, till next time, guys, thanks for joining in.